Hello everyone, welcome to Real Life of a Teacher. I am Claire and today I'm going to do the iteachtoo tag that Megan over on Too Cool for Middle School started. I love her channel and I know I just did the teacher tag recently, maybe not that recently, I don't know. I know I just did the teacher tag, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm going to do this one because I think it asks some different kind of questions that are pretty cool and just want to, get in on the fun. All right, so the first question is, what do you teach and where? And most of you probably know this already, but I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade language arts and social studies in a teeny tiny little town in New Hampshire. All right, question number 2, how long have you been teaching? So I have been teaching fully for 3 years. I was a part-time teacher, part-time aide for a year, and the year before that I was an aide. So I've been working in schools with my degree for 5 years. Is that real? Yeah, for 5 years. But I have been teaching for like 3.5, right? Because I was only part-time. So I've been 4 years at my school where I have been teaching for that whole time, if that makes sense. Question number 3 I thought was really interesting. It's, did you always know you wanted to be a teacher? And I feel like so many of my teacher friends like always knew they wanted to be a teacher and that was like the thing they liked to play when they were a kid. And I totally have a different experience. I adamantly did not want to be a teacher until basically I signed the paper saying that that was going to be my major. I have 2 younger brothers. And I, like much younger, so I'm 26, I'll be 27 this summer, and my youngest brother is 12, to give you a sense of the difference in age there. And so I was just sort of done with kids for a really long time. I spent a lot of time taking care of my brothers, and I was just done with kids. I didn't think that I had the patience for it. I was done. I didn't have any interest in spending more time with kids. And then I got to college, and my freshman year, I just took all my gen eds because I didn't know what I wanted my degree to be in. I was thinking like maybe English, maybe communications, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with myself. I considered sociology and anthropology and political science, and so I changed things a lot my freshman year. And then my sophomore year, when I had to start actually taking my core classes, I decided finally that I thought I wanted to do English with a minor in sociology and anthropology. And I was looking at the English options because my school didn't have just a straight English option at the time. You had to be, there was like a teacher cert option, a creative writing option, or like a film and media or something. I don't know. None of them really appealed to me. So I was looking at the requirements for each one. And the teacher cert option was the only one that you had to take all the literature classes. So I had to take like 2 American Lit, 2 British Lit, a global Lit. I had to take like some elective literature ones, and that's really what I love to do. I love to read. So I figured, well, it can't hurt to have a teacher certification if I ever like need a job. And, those are good skills that like office jobs would want because you have to be organized and, all that stuff. And so I signed up for it. And then when I got to my student teaching, I was dreading it because I didn't think that I really wanted to be a teacher. And I absolutely fell in love with 8th grade. So here I am teaching 8th grade and 6th and 7th. All right, the next question is, what is your typical teacher OOTD outfit of the day? I dress pretty casually. I guess you guys have probably, if you haven't seen some of my fashion videos, you can see some of them. And I guess I would say I don't really have a typical one because some days I like to dress up a little more and wear skirts and tights and stuff. And other days I like to wear leggings and dresses. But I would say the essential elements of my outfits of the day, I always have a cardigan because my classroom varies, or our school actually varies really dramatically in temperature, and I always have a scarf for the same reason. But comfortable is really important. Cardigan, scarf, those are really important. All right, the next question is, what do you usually bring for lunch? So we have snack and lunch because it's a K through 8 school. So at snack every single day, pretty much, I have oatmeal. I, for a really long time, ate oatmeal with blueberries and brown sugar and cinnamon. Then for a really long time, I had oatmeal with dark chocolate chips and strawberries. And this whole school year, I have had oatmeal with frozen raspberries and brown sugar all year. I ate a lot of that. And then for lunch, I just bring leftovers from what I had the night before. And if I forget my lunch, there is a delightful little coffee shop in the town that I work in. And I run over there and get delicious, unhealthy baked goods. They make unbelievable croissants. Ooh, and they make a drink called the London Fog, which, I mean, probably everybody knows about, but because I'm from the middle of nowhere in New Hampshire, I'm behind on the times. But it's Earl Grey tea with vanilla, and it's like a latte, basically, but with tea instead of coffee. It's really good. Okay, the next question is, what is one of your favorite books about teaching? Right, I was thinking about this last night when I was thinking, oh, I should probably do that I Teach Too tag. Let's see, I don't know. I love to read, so I have oodles and oodles of books. I love Lucy Calkins, so those are like, they go with the writing units, but I love those. I feel like they're good. They can branch out of those. I also have really been enjoying things by Jennifer Saravallo. She writes about reading. I went and saw her at a conference one time that was like unbelievable. And I have a big one downstairs about reading. Be right back. Yeah, here we go. So it's this one. It's this Gigunda thing, the reading strategies book. I think that there's a writing strategies book, but this one is really good for, I think, even for the little guys. There's parts of this that I don't use. I've seen people cut the binding off and make it spiral bound, and I think I have to do that. Notice a Note by Kathleen Beers and Bob Probst. Fantastic. And this one's a little different. It's not like strategies for teaching. It's called Inevitable, something about mass customized learning. It's a really interesting read about like how this author expects education to change. And it was really inspiring for me because at our small school, we have a lot more flexibility, and there's a lot of stuff in that book that we're sort of thinking about trying to do because we have the flexibility with so few kids. Next question. What is one of your favorite teacher movies? So I was, again, looking at this question before I started and was thinking I don't really know that I like teacher movies. The only one I could think of that I really do love is School of Rock. Love Jack Black. And then I was thinking about like teacher characters that I really like, and I know it's not a movie, but New Girl is a TV show where Zooey Deschanel is a teacher, and I like totally live for her character. So not a movie, but a TV show, which honestly I probably watch more TV shows than I do movies, which maybe is why I can't think of any good teacher movies. The next question is another really hard one for me, and it's, who is your favorite teacher? And I am so incredibly fortunate to have had lots and lots of really fantastic teachers, like dispersed throughout my whole education. Mr. Masici was my second grade teacher, and kindergarten had been really rough for me, and first grade sort of eased me back into it, and then Mr. Masici was just awesome. He would like play with us on the playground, and I felt like a lot of ownership in his classroom, and he invited his whole class to his wedding, like really like loved us, and I felt that, and that was so important for me because I had some sort of weird, just feeling really disconnected from school when I was like, kindergarten was brutal. I hated kindergarten. I didn't want to go to first grade. And then first grade was better. She was a really nice woman. So then having this like really positive, overly enthusiastic guy as my second grade teacher was awesome. let's see. Oh, and then Mrs. Belsky was my middle school math teacher. I had her for 3 years, 3 years. And I'm friends with her on Facebook. She did not mess around. You knew the expectations. She was consistent and clear. And I'm sure there were kids that were scared of her and didn't like her, but I live for that sort of consistency and orderliness. And I learned so much, and we did awesome math projects. We built kites. We were outside trying to figure out heights of trees using, I don't know, things that I don't remember how to do now. And she brought me from being a person who didn't feel like I was a math student at all to feeling really super confident about my math skills. And I was so fortunate to have her for such a long time that sort of carried me through high school. The end of high school got a little bit rough, but she taught me algebra before I went to high school. And then in high school, I retook algebra. So it really set me up for success. And I knew she really cared about us. I really felt that. She let us come into her classroom at lunchtime and we could hang out and have lunch in there instead of going out to recess. She was just the best. And then in high school, I had Mrs. Chapman was my women's studies teacher, and I know it was partly the subject, but just her enthusiasm for it was really pretty life-changing. And Mr. Tolman was another high school English teacher, and I took, I don't know, 3 or 4 classes with him, and he was just incredible. And then in college, I had a professor, McClellan, who, again, probably there were a lot of people who were scared of her, but she didn't mess around. And I learned so much from her, and I just really loved her classes. So it's excessive. I have had a lot of good teachers, and I'm so, so grateful for that. All right, our next question is, who are some of your favorite teacher YouTubers, Instagrammers, Snapchatters, whatever? So Too Cool for Middle School is the first teacher, like YouTuber or Instagrammer really that I ever even saw. And I think that I don't know. I don't know what her first video that I saw was, but it totally took me by surprise. I didn't really think that there was a social media sort of thing going along other than Twitter, which I know everybody talks about, but I still don't have Twitter. I don't really like it. She was the first one that I saw doing that, and it really inspired me to be like, oh, hey, she's just doing what I do. I could do that. And it really inspired me to become a part of this amazing community. I really like The Lettered Classroom and Real Rap with the Reynolds. I think he's very cool, and I love seeing male teachers. I feel like they're really underrepresented, and it's so... I work with there's one, I mean, granted, we have a very small staff, but there's one male teacher at my school, and he and I both teach middle school together. And I think that it's so huge for so many of our students to have this really positive male influence in their lives. So I love seeing men teachers out there. What is one of your best classroom management tips? My one best classroom management tip is it's sort of a duo, but they go hand in hand, is to be explicit with your expectations and then to be consistent with your expectations. If kids know exactly what they need to do and what to expect, and you reinforce that time and time again, you don't let them if you say there's a consequence, there better be that consequence. If you say you are happy when students are doing something, you better be happy and jumping around and pumping everybody up when they're doing exactly what you ask. And I don't have, even when I had bigger classes, I don't have a lot of classroom management problems, and it's because they know exactly what to expect and they know I'm going to follow through like I said I was. All right, and the last question is, what is one reason you decided to become a teacher? I sort of went into this before. It was a weird sort of roundabout way that I became a teacher. I mean, although I went to like 4 years of college and got my teacher cert and started teaching right away, but like my mindset getting there was really tough. And the big reason I became a teacher was because I love reading and writing, and I want to share that love of reading and writing with my students. And I love social studies in general. Like, I love studying sociology and anthropology and history, and I want to share that with my students. Reading was the thing that got me through most of my life. If I didn't read, I I don't know what I would have done. I mean, that was, I don't even know how to articulate it without going into lots and lots and lots and lots of details that I don't need to. But reading is the thing that kept me going for most of my life. And I know that I can open those doors for my students through the things they're learning and just by being with them. So sharing my love of learning is really important to me. All right, folks, so that is the I Teach Too tag. If you are a teacher and you have not done it yet, I totally encourage you to. It's fun to share these things, and it's also fun to think about them and realize those elements of yourself as you're sort of going through these. So please like this video if you enjoyed it, leave a comment below, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Thanks for watching.